Hello, welcome to Introduction to Databases and SQL. In this session, we will discuss about the environment setup of MySQL database management system. Let's understand. Firstly, what is MySQL? So MySQL is a database management system, and it is one of the most popular and open source database management system. In fact, MySQL is a relational database management system. In relational database management systems, the data will be in a structured format. We have two kinds of databases, structured databases and unstructured databases. And all structured databases are relational database management systems. The relational word refers to table. In RDBMS, the data will be in the form of a table, and table have rows and columns. Whereas in unstructured database management systems, data can be in any form. They can be documents, they can be graphs, they can be any text, any random text. So here in this course, our concentration will be on MySQL. So we will pronounce MySQL as MySQL. It's not MySQL. And MySQL is used to handle very large databases. What is a database? Database is a related data. A company database, an employee database, a student database, the information of a particular employee or organization or a student or all together is actually a database. MySQL can handle large amounts of databases, and it is very fast and gives you good performance and very reliable. And of course, there are good security features provided with MySQL. MySQL is now owned by Oracle Corporation. Earlier, it was under Sun Microsystems. And MySQL is compatible with the standard SQL. SQL is a standard query language. All the relational database management systems are SQL compliant. So in order to speak with the database, we require a language. That language is SQL. So MySQL is SQL compliant database management system. Other database management systems include Oracle, include MySQL Server. That's what we are actually discussing. And from Microsoft, we have one SQL Server database is there. Then we have DB2 from IBM. We have PostgreSQL, etc. There are good number of RDBMS which are popular. So why we have to use MySQL? It's free. Of course, now it is acquired by Oracle. So what Oracle did is it has given two versions. One is MySQL Community Server, another is MySQL Enterprise Edition. So MySQL Enterprise Edition is license based, whereas MySQL Community Server is for free. Before Oracle acquired this MySQL, whole of the MySQL is free only, right? But now we can actually use MySQL Community Server for free, and we can actually have our databases created, and we can access the databases. So we can easily install MySQL locally, and multi-user access will be there for almost all databases. So multi-users at a time can access with their own accounts, and they can access the data, and they will have their own databases created. Otherwise, they can share the database as well. So MySQL provides different options. It provides a shell where you can actually issue commands, create databases, create tables, and you can do all manipulations, retrievals, etc. And it also provides some UI, GUI, graphical user interface. So for that, there is a separate software is there. So I will be telling you that. And MySQL frequently comes with PHP and Perl because there are certain web application development hosting softwares which are available, and they usually come with PHP and Perl. Okay, so commercial version of MySQL is also provided. So of course now it is provided through Oracle, that is called MySQL Enterprise Edition. So this is a brief description about MySQL. So let's go ahead and understand the environment setup here. So here, so how to, we will understand as part of this session how to download and install MySQL and how to set up the environment so that I can straight away use uh, some commands, SQL commands, and I can actually create my databases and work with the databases. So if you see here, I have given the first option as MySQL Community Server. So you can download MySQL Community Server by going to MySQL page, and that's for free. And we have MySQL Workbench as well. That provides actually graphical user interface. So for non-technical people, so you need not to type any command. Complete UI will be there, user interface will be there. You just have to click and you have to just type something and your tables will get created. You can add data, delete data, manage, map the relationships. So many things can happen actually. So that's actually MySQL Workbench. And we can actually directly get MySQL client utilities where we will get CLI. Okay, so GUI, graphical user interface, and we have CLI actually. So this is command line interface. You have to give commands and you will have the black screen just like a shell, and you have to use it. So you can download MySQL client utilities and directly work with the CLI. Otherwise, you want to have a GUI kind of environment, you can go with MySQL Workbench, and you can download MySQL Community Server. There also you will get the MySQL console and you have to work with that. And of course, MySQL comes with few software stacks which are used for web development hosting. So mostly they will be in combination with PHP and Perl as a programming languages. So for example, we have WAMP. So WAMP is actually a software package which actually works in Windows environment and which has a web server, that is Apache HTTP server, and it comes up with MySQL or MariaDB. And MySQL and MariaDB both are same actually. But what is the difference is MariaDB is fully open source. MySQL has Oracle proprietary uh, rights actually. Okay, so a fork of MySQL is MariaDB. Okay, so in Linux, mostly we will get directly MariaDB with the packages. We can use it. So MariaDB and MySQL, similar syntax, everything is same. So MariaDB is a fork of MySQL. Just to keep this is completely open source and to certain experimentations, develop it by the community, etc. MariaDB was there. And in the WAMP, the last P is actually for PHP. So you will get a direct package where you have a database to store your data, and then you will have that is MySQL, and then you have a programming language PHP, and you can write scripts, and those scripts can run on the web server, that is Apache, and all of this thing will work in a Windows. This is called WAMP. So you can actually have WAMP downloaded and you can straight away use it. So if you want independently use MySQL, you can use it. Otherwise, you can use that with the PHP and you can create web applications and you can host it also directly on the server. The same thing for Linux users is available as LAMP. LAMP for Linux, Apache HTTP server, MySQL or MariaDB, and PHP. Just the platform changes here. LAMP L for Linux. Now, how I can use this on Mac? Then your WAMP or LAMP will not work on Mac. So then you have to go for XAMPP. XAMPP is crossover. So XAMPP can work on any machine, whether it is Windows or Linux or Mac, whatever it is, it works. And it has Apache, it has MySQL or MariaDB, PHP, and it has Perl also, right? So in order to work with MySQL, these are all the options for us. You can directly go and get the MySQL community server installed, open the MySQL console and work on it. Otherwise, get MySQL Workbench installed and you can work with the GUI, graphical user interface. Otherwise, just take the only client, MySQL client, and you can install it and you can work on it. The other options are with some servers actually, WAMP, LAMP, and XAMPP. So let me actually tell you by going through here. So for example, here you go to Google and ask MySQL community server download. So it will say download MySQL community server. So as I told you already, there is an enterprise edition and community edition. So this is the community edition, which is free. Enterprise edition requires licenses. So you can download it. So download is easy. Once you download it, then you can go to your command prompt and say MySQL. So MySQL console will come. This is one option, right? If you want MySQL Workbench, you can click on MySQL Workbench, download, and MySQL Workbench actually coming to you. So this is MySQL Workbench. Install and you can work in a GUI environment, right? And you can actually have that command CLI also getting downloaded. So MySQL command utility, you can type and you can get it, right? Otherwise, you want to go for WAMP. If you are on Windows, you can go for WAMP. So I am on Windows, so I can actually go for WAMP server, and then I can click on WAMP server 64-bit. So then it asks me to provide the details, but I'm not doing. You can download directly. If I click it, so WAMP server will get downloaded. Okay, I have actually my WAMP server downloaded. So I'm using WAMP server straight away. For this course, I'm using WAMP server. Later, after some time, in order to get acquaintance, I can actually download my MySQL community server and I can tell you also. Right, so this is WAMP server, and once it is installed, you can actually, once it's downloaded, you can install it and you can work on it. So actually, I have installed this, so I need not to again install this. I have already installed, but I'm just telling you the a way to do this. Already, I have my WAMP server available, so 3.3. Okay, just I will pause this. Okay, so once it's downloaded, you click on and automatically it will get installed. Just nest. You are in Windows environment. Just you need to put nest. Okay, so once it's actually installed, it will come over here. So for example, my MySQL server is already up and running. So what I do is I will actually stop all the services and I will exit also this one. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to find out where my WAMP server is and I will run it again. Yeah, you can see WAMP server 64. WAMP means it runs on Windows. It has an Apache web server, MySQL, and PHP. So when I click on this, so it actually getting started. So it's actually starts so many services because you have Apache is there, you have MySQL is there, you have Maria is there, you have PHP is there. So that's why you can actually see so many screens coming up. So let's not worry. Yeah, so when everything is done, you can actually see here at the down. Yeah, you can actually observe here. So now it's getting the services are getting run actually. So you can see the color in some kind of red, orange kind of thing. So when everything is done, it will turn to green actually. When it comes to the green, we have to understand that the WAMP server is ready and up. Okay, so you have MySQL, you have Apache, you have MariaDB, etc. Right, so you can see here it's in green color. Now let's click on this. Just click on this. Now you can actually see all these things. So there is a local host. So this local host is for your Apache, and you have a PHP admin. I will tell you what is this PHP admin, and then we have MySQL over here. We have MariaDB also, MariaDB 10.10, and you have MySQL also available. So in order to go to the MySQL, what you need to do is just come over here and just say MySQL console. Just click on this MySQL console, and it actually came up with an username that is root. By default, the root is the username. Later we can create our users. We will understand that how to create users, how to change the password, etc. Right, so by default for MySQL we are into the root user, and let's actually click, and it asks for password, and there is no password as of now. We have not set the password while installing, and we will actually press enter here. So MySQL console will come up. So this is the MySQL console. So I am into my MySQL now, right? So I just want to verify its version. Of course, it is shown over here saying welcome to MySQL monitor. Commands end with semicolon, right? So every command should end with a semicolon. And your MySQL connection ID is 8, and SQL Server version is this one. So in fact, I can actually check the MySQL version using a command. So select version. So I just say version, and then it will show me what is the version. So version is 8.0.31. In fact, I can actually select who is the user. Select user. So these are MySQL specific commands. These are not SQL commands or SQL commands. So select user. Now you can see user is root localhost, right? And you can also check the current date. Select current underscore date, and it would show what is the date actually here. You want time, it will show current time. Current underscore time, the time is going to come actually, right? So this is the MySQL console, and here what we can actually check is what are the databases already available with MySQL by default. So for that, I can actually say show databases, right? So MySQL is a database management system. What we are going to do in a database management system, we are going to create some tables, and we want to store some data. That is the structured data, right? So before you create a table directly, you have to create a database. You want to store for your application all the data. So for example, your application is a student management system. Let's create a database called SMS. And there you create your student table, your teacher table, your course table, your marks table, whatever you want, right? So for MySQL, databases are the fundamental things. In databases, you will have the tables created, views created, etc. So what are the default table MySQL comes up with? Let's see. MySQL has now information schema, MySQL, performance schema, sys. So these are the default databases that it has come up. I already created one DB that is called MyDB. This I have created already. Okay. So if at all I want to go to a particular database, so I have to say use. I'm going to use MyDB. Use MyDB. Okay. So database changed. Now I am actually into MyDB. So you want to see whether you are in this particular MyDB or not. So you can actually say select database, select space database. Now you can see the database that you're using is MyDB. Are there any tables in this particular database? You want to see, you can actually say show tables. Now you can actually see. Okay, so the show tables, we don't require actually that parenthesis. We just need to say like this, show tables. You don't require that parenthesis to be given. And there are two tables in this particular DB. If at all I want to clear the screen, I can actually say system CLS. So now the screen will be cleared actually. Now I can actually use my arrow keys, down arrow and upper arrow. So just track of my all queries, right? So now I am saying show tables here. Yeah, so this is show tables, and tables are coming up here, right? So now if at all you want to see how the employee table has been created, we have a command called describe. So these all we will discuss in SQL actually. Anything table related is actually SQL thing, structured query language thing. So I will introduce in the next class about this SQL. So I want to see the employee table structure. So I need to say describe employee. DSC for describe actually. Now you can actually see the table employee has four fields like employee ID, employee name, employee salary and city, and what are the data types, and whether they are null or not null, any primary keys, foreign keys are there or not, and any uh, extra options like auto increment kind of thing. So auto increment means your employee ID is going to get incremented automatically. So that auto increment was provided on the primary key. And if at all I want to see my student table, so I can say describe student. So this is actually the schema information. So schema means the structure. So how your student table structure is there. So that actually been displayed with the help of describe command. So here I have SID, SNAME, GPA. There are no primary keys. There are no extra options, right? So this is how we can actually enter into MySQL and do some operations here. So for example, now I want to quit. I can say quit. I came out actually. Quit or exit will work. Again, I want to go. So now I can actually here click on here and my WAMP is up and running. So in WAMP, you have MySQL, MariaDB, Apache, everything running actually. So now I can go back again MySQL and MySQL console, and root is the default username and password is not there as of now. And now you can actually ask for show databases. So all show databases. Yeah, show databases. This parenthesis is not required. Show tables and databases. The parenthesis is not required. Okay, only functions like version, date, etc. that is required. Okay, so now I have these databases. For example, you want to create a new database. Create database SMS. Let's say student management system. Now you can actually create like this. Query okay, one row affected, right? So once it is created, you have to use it. Use SMS. Database changed. Show tables. Do you have any tables here in SMS? No, because it is freshly created. So it says empty set. So here we can actually create a table, right? So how to create table, how to add data, that all we have to discuss once we introduce SQL actually. So as of now, that's it from this particular MySQL environment setup. So the environment can be set up directly by downloading and installing first three. Otherwise, you can actually use any of these software stacks. Okay, if you're in Windows, you can go with WAMP or XAMPP, or if you're Linux, you can actually use LAMP. Okay, otherwise, you can straight away install directly either MySQL Community Server or Workbench or Client Utility CLI, and you can use it. And before I conclude, I would like to tell again about one more feature over here in the WAMP. So MySQL console is completely CLI, right? Command line interface. It's a black screen and where you have to type commands. So WAMP or LAMP or XAMPP also provides something called PHP which is very interesting. You can actually see here, if you click on this PHP you actually land up into a new page in the local host. So that means this PHP will get opened in your Apache server. So local host is actually the Apache. There you are actually opening your database server. So username is root and there is no password, and server I want to run is actually MySQL. Yeah, so here if you see, whatever the databases I have seen from the CLI, I am able to see here. So if you want, I can open that also, and I can uh, show you both side by side. Yeah, so if I go here and in MySQL, so if I say show databases, so I will have all these databases. And the same thing actually you can see here, the information schema, performance schema, sys, and MyDB, and SMS are user-defined databases. Just now we have created SMS that is there actually. So this PHP provide you the graphical user interface, just like your MySQL Workbench, right? So that's why I choose this WAMP or LAMP, because you will have both CLI available and GUI is also available with the PHP So straight away you can actually work just like how you can work in a console. But the difference is, in console you have to type the commands. So here you just click and manage most of the stuff graphically. So for example, in MyDB, I want to see the tables. See here I have an employee table with this data, these many columns, and a student table with these many columns. Okay, if I want to see this data, I can actually click on this employee. My employee table will get open over here. Let's see. So this is the data. So my employee has employee ID, employee name, employee salary, and city. The same thing, if at all you want to see in the MySQL console, what you need to do is you need to select first of all the DB, use MyDB, and then show tables. Let's identify what are the tables are there, and you have employee table. So then in order to get the data, you need to say select store from EMP. Now you will see all this data. The same data I could able to see over here in my PHP MyAdmin. Okay, I'm not writing the comments, but I can actually see. So this will help non-technical people or anybody who are not so pro into the databases. They can actually use PHP MyAdmin. Okay, so instead of going separately for a SQL Workbench or MySQL Community Server, two separate softwares, I can actually have this WAMP or LAMP or XAP installed, and I will be having both now, right? So both CLI as well as GUI, both are available. So that's why. So I am actually showing you this WAMP, and we'll be using this WAMP mostly for our purposes. However, I will introduce that MySQL Community Server, how to install and how to do it over there. But what is the edge by using this WAMP, LAMP, or XAMPP means you have both things available, right? You have the CLI available, at the same time you have this graphical user interface is also available. Okay, so here you want to insert, you can actually insert directly graphically. You just have to give the values here and it will get inserted, right? And when you insert uh, here, you want to write queries and you want to insert, you can also do this. See, for example, I can write like select star from employee, and then I can run my query, right? So in the graphical interface, I can write my SQL also. So it has come up. So here I can actually insert by writing my insert query. I can actually do whatever all I'm doing from my command prompt, right? The CLI, right? All these things can be actually done with my PHP, my admin. Same is actually like MySQL Workbench, right? So this is the environment setup for MySQL. So if this is set up, then straight away we can actually go into MySQL database management system. We can actually create databases. Then we can create the tables which are of our requirement, and we can actually practice all the SQL commands. And what is SQL? What are the commands that we are going to discuss in the next session? Hope you have understood, and we'll meet you and discuss about SQL in the next session. Thank you.